Hello, welcome to Beth Roars, where we look at your favourite singers to find out what makes them them. Before we start, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @BethRoars. Also, please do check out my website, bethroars.com, where you can book a singing lesson from me. And last but not least, do check out my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can find more exclusive content and guarantee that your request definitely happens. And this one was actually a request on my Patreon by Jax. So I have to say hello to Jax. Thank you for this request. So Corey Taylor was the original vocalist of Stone Sour, but then also replaced the original vocalist of Slipknot. So he's been part of some really awesome bands. Let's give him a listen. I have heard Slipknot quite a lot, but I haven't been particularly aware if it's him or not. Oh, those sounds are well creeps.
Alright, let's give it a shot. You ready?
Wow.
Yeah.
If you take a step towards me, you'll take my breath away. So I'll keep you close and keep my secrets safe. No one else has ever loved me. No one else has ever tried. I never understood how much I could take. Then I saw.
I like his placement. It's really quite far forward. It's quite na 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 na. So it's in this na sort of place. Adds a little bit of nasality to it, but it gives it an edge so that it feels nice and strong. And in these sort of bands, in your metal bands, you need your vocals to cut through. And you don't want to do that in an unhealthy way by pushing your chest voice or by straining. Actually, if you're straining, then you're doing it wrong. You want to be able to kind of lighten off the sound. Rely on your mic if you need to, but getting the right frequencies, the right resonance that cuts through the drums and the bass and the guitar. It's not about volume so much, it's about resonance.
Then I saw the worst was over when I laid my eyes on you. It was all that I could do to know my place.
I love the cry sound he's putting through, it's very emotional.
Out of all the past illusions, out of all the dreams come true, I was gone until I finally saw your face.
Face! I love how he plays that. Face! That is very 90s rock. It's actually quite far back, but it's a real stylistic thing that you hear all the time, in that you just get like one or two notes that's placed in that place that makes it's a little bit warmer and less twangy and harsh. It feels a little bit more like crying actually, or like emotion and sadness, I think.
Your face. You cried out for more.
Oh, I love it.
If you reached out for me, I would run into the storm just to keep you here with me. I have gone beyond my years. I wasted half my life, but I found it all in you. Did I save you? 'Cause I know you saved me too.
His voice is so warm. I love his tone and I love his placement. He isn't lightening it off as much as he could on these high notes, but I feel like it's okay because he's not going super high. He's just going to kind of Fs. I'm kind of interested to see if he does do any bigger, higher notes later on, but where he's placing it is keeping it nice and full, and that distortion, he's placing it really nicely, really healthily. It is a forward placement again. It's not coming from down here and getting this sort of vibe. That's the problem that people often run into. Again, they're getting tension and that's not what you want. It's actually more in this, like think of it being in your mask, is this area that we talk about, forward, that sort of distortion. You don't want it to come from the chords themselves.
Take a step towards you, let me feel you in my hands. Let me cross this line and show you where it leads.
See it in the app once again.
Darkness down inside me that I know we'll both enjoy, and it's screaming from within to set it free. I have left this bloody nightmare.
Nice.
I wait for
Nice transition into the higher stuff.
all I want is deviation, my desire. Out of all the past confusion, out of all the common spite, just tell me I am yours, 'cause you are mine. And if you cried out for more, if you reached out for me, I would run into the storm just to keep you here with me. I have gone beyond my years.
It feels very easy for him, which is great.
But I found it all in you. Did I save you? 'Cause I know you saved me too.
And you can see how much he's opening. What was that? See, that was a B. B flat, sorry.
It doesn't really matter what you do or say. I'm never going anywhere anyway. 'Cause when I'm dying for you, I've never felt so alive. And if you cried out for more, if you reached out for me, I would run into the storm just to keep you here with me.
I want to talk about that one high note, which the camera wasn't on him, it was on the guitarist, or it was on someone else at the time. That B flat, I personally think that if I was teaching someone, I wouldn't want them to do it quite so chesty, but it shouldn't cause too many problems if you just do it once. But if you continually sing in a real pushed chest on that really high note, then it may cause you problems. But because this song is more around Fs and stuff like that, so it's only slightly probably over his break, it's not too much of a problem. And actually it is keeping that warm kind of grungy sound in there. However, if for people who are wanting to think about like healthy singing, you just don't want to push that sound up higher, which is what worries me that some people would do. And also there are some people who are able to do that and not hurt their voice, but 99% of people cannot. So if you were going to go up to your Bs and your B flats, I would try and get you to really find a nice mix. And actually he was finding that more on the second time on the Fs. I felt like it was in a real strong, healthy place rather than a pushy place, which was nice. It's such a small difference, but it's your vocal health. It makes such a difference in your vocal health. Learning to just thin out your vocal cords a little bit more.
Keep you here with me. I have gone beyond my years. I wasted out my life.
So this is lovely. It's really well played.
You, did I save you? 'Cause I know you saved me too.
He had real power and warmth in his tone, and that was wonderful. And I liked how he could put on and take off the distortion really easily. So he is really in control of that distortion, which shows that he's technically doing it well, which is good, really good. As I say, just for the general singer, maybe not for him, maybe this is quite easy for him, but for most singers, those real higher notes, the B flats and the Bs there, I wouldn't suggest you push that sound as much. I suggest you work that mix. And to be fair, it was set further away from the mic, so I would like to hear more of him singing those notes to see if it was a mix or a push chest, and whether it was just the distortion that fooled my ear a bit for a second, because it could have been. But in general, what a beautiful tone. What a beautiful tone. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.